Hello friends, this is Worm, and even though it's Monday, we are going to put a hold on exotic recrafting for today because there's a lot of stuff I need to talk about in regards to Lightfall, and stuff that I want to talk about in regards to, not Lightfall, sorry, the final shape, including the raid, including the, the changes that were made to stasis, including, the newest, the healing for the support frame auto rifle. Like, I have a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about, but I figured we'd use today to talk about the storyline and just how good it was. There may be spoilers in this video. As we're talking, I might accidentally slip some stuff, so just keep that in mind. As well as, there's gonna be background gameplay from the story, not necessarily the final mission or anything like that, but it's gonna be from the story. With that being said, this whole storyline that we got with the final shape is what we have been missing in Destiny 2. And I think it's fair to say that this is probably one of the best stories, actually probably the best storyline we've had in Destiny 2 ever. This includes things like Forsaken storyline, things like the Taken King storyline. Like, those are awesome storylines, but Final Shape's story and how they played out the story, with cinematics and missions and stuff like that, really takes the cake. But I'm not gonna sit here and say it's superseded my expectations. No, I would say it met my expectations. And this is something that I've seen a lot of, people who review the game say, oh my gosh, it superseded our expectations. Like, people that say it superseded their expectations are really, I would say, just casual players of the game or players who have not really been playing Destiny for all that long. Because the reality is, ever since we got the Taken King, I have always held Bungie to that standard. So when Lightfall dropped and it was absolutely butt cheeks, I wasn't happy about it. When Shadowkeep dropped and it really wasn't all that great, I wasn't happy about it. And it almost makes me wonder, just a little sidetrack here, it almost makes me wonder if Bungie intentionally made Lightfall bad so that they could get their reviews really cranked up for the final shape. Because of course, most players that play Destiny as of right now started with the final shape, or I'm sorry, it started with Lightfall. They started with Lightfall. So Lightfall was one of the highest selling expansions of all time. Actually, I think it was the highest selling expansion of all time, maybe right next to the final shape for Destiny 2. Okay, so yeah, it got a lot of sales and a lot of people played that, and that was their first experience. Well, if you have a bad first experience, obviously there's the risk of, oh, well, you're not coming back. But it also means that if you do come back, if they're able to hype up the next expansion good enough, for example, and you come back and it is a mind-blowing expansion, you're gonna say, oh my god, they superseded my expectations, right? Not me though. They did not supersede. They met my expectations. And that's, maybe that sounds harsh to some people, oh, what do you mean, it was the best expansion ever? No, this needed to be the best expansion ever. Bungie did not have a choice. This is the end of the Light and Darkness saga. Literally, this DLC had to be the best. There's no other DLC that could have overshadowed it and could have made it better. So yeah, I think that saying it met expectations is a fair thing to say. Now, in terms of the actual campaign, I don't know what happened between Lightfall and the final shape, but somebody at Bungie really figured out what the heck was going on. And of course, I think that there was, or not think that there was, but the old community manager, hippie, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, Leanna Rupert, she made a YouTube video on her channel talking all about Destiny, and it was like a 25-minute long video just talking about Bungie and how things were at Bungie and stuff like that. But one of the key things that she said that the failure of Lightfall really forced the executives at the company to listen to game developers, and that is really what I would say attributes the final shape as being such a good expansion. It's so good. The storyline was fantastic. We had some incredible cutscenes. We had some really fun missions. We had some difficult missions. I would say that this is probably the most difficult legendary campaign I have done, which granted, there haven't been a whole lot of legendary campaigns. I think they started with Witch Queen, if I'm not mistaken. But, neither here nor there. They were good missions. The cutscenes were absolutely fantastic. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of Destiny players have been asking for a long time, is have more meaningful cutscenes in Destiny 2. We've had cutscenes before, we have some, going all the way back to Destiny 1. I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. That was a, whack cutscene. But, with Final Shape, we got amazing cutscenes that told story literally between every single mission. You know, and I think that was so pivotal in storytelling. Like we've got some amazing, like, I really don't want to spoil it. I'm really trying not to spoil anything from the story, but we got some amazing, really touching cutscenes. You know, there was some emotional business going on in that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, as I played through that final mission, I got tears in my eyes. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't played it, but you know, I think that a lot of players shared that sentiment. But the campaign was absolutely fantastic. The closing of the story was amazing. And of course, we got to talk about the raid and its tie-in with the story, because the raid, a lot of people fully expected the raid to be like the final killing of the witness, right? Like, who, you know, we go into the raid, we actually kill the witness. But Bungie wrote the Salvation's Edge raid into the story in such a great way, because like, it would have been too simple, in my opinion, to just kill the witness in the raid and call it done. And so the lore behind the raid is, you know, the Guardians went into the raid and they severed the witness's ties with the Traveler and stuff like that, and that allowed the rest of the Guardians to go in and actually kill him in the Excision mission, which, you know, again, if you haven't played that, I won't spoil it for you, but it was an absolutely fantastic ending. It's something that we've really never ever done before. And of course, the cutscene that followed that was very, very emotional. But really, I mean, this is what we come to expect from Bungie. And really, like, if Leanna Rupert, the old community manager for Bungie, is to be believed, and devs really had the reins behind this, Bungie needs to do this more. Bungie needs to let devs take control of the game and stuff, because, like, I mean, the story was great. The location, the Pale Heart, is absolutely fantastic. Like, I love the Pale Heart. Like, the Pale Heart is one place I will actually spend time and like go into. Like, Neomuna didn't do it. I didn't like being in Neomuna. I literally went into Neomuna to get, you know, story done and to get maybe like bounties done, stuff like that. Like, I don't like Neomuna, but the Pale Heart is a different story. Like, I like going into the Pale Heart. It's a really attractive location. Like, it looks fantastic. It's got all different vibes to it. You have the dark, creepy side. You have the, you know, the landing where it's really bright and attractive and pretty and all that stuff like that. But the activities that are actually on the Pale Heart are a lot of fun to do as well. And of course, there is a match-made version that you can do, which I think is pretty awesome. Just 3 people going in and doing all kinds of just little tasks. You know, there's no public events, so to speak. You know, you've got these little tiny events that just pop up all over the place around these locations, and you go and do the events, and it's a really awesome location. And the weapons that you can get from it are pretty awesome. You know, the support frame auto rifle is fantastic. The new Strand rocket assisted sidearm is really good. The new machine gun, the aggressive frame machine gun, is awesome. Like, it's a lot of fun to go in there and do all of that stuff. Like, this is a wonderful DLC. I mean, looking at the weapons that we got, of course, with Lightfall, like, you know, the Salvation's Edge weapons. And I know the other day, you know, we talked about how the origin trait wasn't exactly super exciting, but the weapons themselves are really interesting. You know, we got heavy, the heavy burst pulse rifle, 2-round burst pulse rifle. We got a combat bow with bolt shot and dragonfly. So there's your Trinity Ghoul at home, right? But it's a lot of fun. Like, everything that we've got was fun. I've dabbled a little bit in the Salvation's Edge. I beat the first encounter. I don't have as much time to play as other people, but I did beat the first encounter. It was a lot of fun. The second encounter, a lot of fun. I've only watched people do the 3rd, 4th, and 5th encounter, but like, it looks like a great raid. It ties into the story very well. And of course, the actual, like, you know, defeating of the witness is amazing. But I don't know, I really just wanted to kind of talk about that, and just talk about the fact that this is what everyone should expect from Bungie going forward. Like, if Bungie doesn't deliver to the degree that they delivered with this DLC, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we're still gonna play it, but really, like, Bungie should do what they did for every expansion / DLC. You know, do the same thing they did for Final Shape with every expansion DLC. But yeah, anyways, sorry, just kind of a long talk about that, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. Tell me your thoughts about the campaign and stuff. Like, do you think that this met expectations? Are you one of the people that say this superseded expectations? Like, really, like, if you think this exceeded expectations, give me a detailed reason why in the comments. Like, I've kind of presented why I don't think it should have superseded any expectations here, but you know, everybody has their own opinion, right? But with that being said, of course, thank you for watching this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more Destiny content, and do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason YouTube thinks you'll like them. See you on the next one, guys. Bye for now.